Have you ever seen beautiful polished stones that can be as colourful and pretty as gemstones? Have you ever wondered how people get them so smooth and shiny? Well, in today's experiment, we're going to make our very own polished stones. You can even use semi-precious rocks and make real gemstones. To do this, you need your very own tumbler. These are available online, they're not expensive and they're easy to obtain. A tumbler is basically a small barrel-like container that's rotated by an electric motor. If you put stones inside, they'll be tumbled and jumbled together, slowly knocking off all of the angular edges and corners, making increasingly smooth pebbles. And if you put in different polishing agents, they'll become more and more smooth and eventually beautiful and glossy and shiny. It's really fun to produce your very own polished stones, and you can do this at home or at school. All you need in addition to your tumbler is a small number of stones that you're going to polish. The more brightly coloured and varied in texture and coloration, the better. Some polishing grit. There are many different types of grit available. It's best to use a coarse grit to start with. This will break down those hard, rough edges of your stones. And then use progressively finer grits for a few days each to really smooth and eventually polish your stones. If you want a really glossy, really beautiful gemstone-like texture, you can even get special polishing foam such as this. And I'm going to use this to try and make the most beautiful stones I possibly can. The last thing you then need is just a small amount of water, because the stones need to be in water for the polishing grit to really work. So, take off the drum of your tumbler. You can put in your stones. I've selected a number of different stones representing different minerals and semi-precious gemstones. I've got a piece of jasper, I've got different tiger eyes here, I've got some calcite, and I've got some labradorite. Labradorite's famous for a beautiful iridescent shine, so it'll be really interesting to see if that works. Make sure you don't fill the drum of the tumbler more than halfway with the stones. Then add some water. Submerge the stones properly so the drum is more than half full. And then add the grit that you want to use. And depending which stage you're on the process determines which type of grit. Because this is starting with really rough stones, I have to start with really coarse grit. So pour that in. You're then ready to seal your tumbler's drum. In this one, there's a metal disc with a rubber edge. Make sure to put that in tightly so no water can escape. Then it has this metal disc on top. You can unseal that with this screw thread top. Let's seal that nice and tight so nothing can come out. Then you're ready to put the drum on the tumbler. You can then choose how many days you want to tumble it for. I'm going to start off with 6 with that coarse grit. Then I'm going to move down to 3 days with a finer grit, 2 days with an even finer grit, then lastly another 2 days with a super fine grit. Then to top it off, I'll use this polishing foam to hopefully give my stones a really beautiful glossy finish. So let's get it started. I'll leave this going. Join me in 2 weeks' time to find out how my stones have turned out. Good luck in tumbling your very own beautiful polished rocks.